by Korea Republic's Im Jong-hoon and Shin Yu-bin to get past the world number ones, Lin Shidong and Kwai Man, and make it to this evening's final. But who will they face? We'll find out shortly as Wang Chuqin and Sun Yingsha come up against the Japanese Matsushima and Harimoto. Speaking of Harimoto, brother Tomokazu will go against Felix Lebrun and Shang Peng against Lin Shidong in singles action still to come. But up next, it's semi-final time again.
來自日本 from Japan, Sora Matsushima and Miwa Harimoto.
Smile on the face of Miwa Harimoto. Now, is he going to wait for her this time? There's a little subplot and a little joke every time because yesterday she had to scurry to catch up with him. But these two have done well to make it to this semi-final, but they're up against formidable foes.
來自中國 from China, Wang Chuqin and Sun Yingsha.
The crowd reaction in this sellout full house here inside the Infinity Arena tells you all you need to know. They need no introduction. As a pair, they are 9-time mixed doubles title winners on the WTT series. The best in the world in terms of world championships, and they beat Sora Matsushima and Miwa Harimoto along the way in terms of that triumph. So that came earlier on this year, a second ever meeting between these two pairs, and it comes after they emerged in differing fashion from their qualifying groups over 3 round-robin matches. But it's a straight shootout here for the place in the final against the Koreans. Best of 5 games to be played here. The now familiar routine, Chuqin with the headband going on. And of course, Sun Yingsha, she knows her way around this table, looking imperious this week already. 2 25-year-olds on the left there against a 17 and an 18-year-old. And maybe, just maybe, the Japanese need to take a leaf out of the Koreans' books and have no fear and go for it here. I'll get the thoughts of Fraser Riley on that right now. But let's just listen in for the coin toss, which is going to be officiated by Jackie Ng. And then Fraser's going to see if he agrees with me about this no-fear approach. In fact, you could even do it now because they're going to take a little moment, I think.
Well, it's great to have you here as my doubles partner, John. It's been so fun over the last few days, and now we're down to the semi-final action in the mixed doubles. Yeah, I mean, Sora Matsushima, as we know, especially here, can cause problems for Wang Chuqin. They had an almighty clash in the singles, didn't they? Matsushima won, was it 2 points away from victory? We've got a real chance here. Miwa has also, on an individual level, beaten Sun Yingsha once before.
Steve. Okay. Who is it?
Okay, sorry to interrupt you there. Just caught the end of that coin toss there, so we know who's receiving and who's serving. It's always interesting, isn't it, in doubles? Some of the umpires actually just double check every single time they come back to the table at who's going to be starting off, but it's very good to get the procedure right. Okay, so back to the point then about the way that they have got here. We did see flaws at times in the Japanese pair, but nothing wrong with these guys. The only surprise maybe was that third match there, having cruised past Shah and Chitale of India and then also beaten the world number ones in straight games. They were in a really entertaining match against the Hong Kong-China pair of Wang Chunting and Du Hoi Kim. As it turns out, Fraser, no matter what would have happened, they were going to go through from that group. Even if they'd gone to ratios of games won and lost, they'd have made it through. So they were always going to top it. It was a shootout against the Brazilians for these guys, and in the end, they had to fight hard, didn't they?
They really did. The winners between them and the Brazilians in that particular matchup there were going to go through, so that was a very important match, a pivotal match for the Japanese, and they came back in game number 5 to beat Calderano and Takahashi. They were beaten convincingly by the Koreans, Im and Shin. That was the day after, or the morning after, they were beaten in singles, so I think a little bit of disappointment bled into that result right there.
It's a very good point that you make, and remember, we've just seen a pair exit this competition in Lin Shidong and Kwai Man, who actually have singles matches coming up very soon, particularly in Shidong's case. So there is that interesting business about how you recover and then go again. Now, I don't think anyone in the world will be surprised that it's 79% of WorldTableTennis.com voting in favor of Wang Chuqin and Sun Yingsha. They're the favorites. They know that. But then again, in the last match, there was a heavy favoritism for the Chinese pair as well.
Yeah, let's see what happens here. This could go either way. I feel like this is less of a 50-50 than the last match, though. Wang and Sun are borderline untouchable when it comes to the mixed doubles. 3-time world champions together. Shato are the most followed fan group on the planet when it comes to table tennis. They are an impeccable force.
Oh, what an atmosphere. We've got off to a great start here. What does this one have in store for us? Loved watching these guys in their last match. They were smiling, they were having fun, they were flamboyant.
I feel like because they were up against the Hong Kong-China pair of Wang and Du, they let their hair down a little bit. We saw some rallies, we saw them just taking a step back. Really putting on a show.
And then, as a hush fell over the Infinity Arena, off we went. I fully understand what you're saying about Sora Matsushima and his ability to be dangerous, to be a weapon, if you like, in this match.
He's a weapon, a lethal weapon of an 18-year-old. We saw how much emotion he showed after being beaten by Wang Chuqin. I don't know how Wang came out of that match alive, by the way. But one thing I'll say about Sora Matsushima is that he doesn't pay the Chinese so much respect. He doesn't really fear losing too much. He will go for the shot regardless of what the scoreboard pressure is.
2-1.
And we've seen that. Obviously, his immense talent has taken him to a national title. We've seen what he's capable of. We've seen him winning, of course, on the WTT series not that long ago as well.
His cold demeanor is somewhat intimidating. And that's been a talking point as well, hasn't it, John? You know, the chemistry, or sometimes the lack of chemistry between Miwa and Sora. They're chalk and cheese. They're different people, different personalities.
He does have a fun side to him. He just doesn't show it on the table too often. We've seen him away from the table. But she seems, you're right, she seems to take on that role of the one who smiles and communicates and keeps things flowing a bit.
No fresh light, please. 3-2.
We've seen so much of this Shatao combination. How do you rate their communication? Or are they just so good that they're almost empathetic in the way they work?
Empathetic. They barely even need to speak to each other. At this point, they can just act upon pure instinct. They have that level of trust. And they just sit into their roles perfectly. And Yingsha, yes, is the most powerful women's player in the world. But for me, she's the player who is the maestro in the placement game. She makes life easier for Wang Chuqin, who can play this shot time and time and time again.
And we can watch it time and time again. It's just flowing. It's poetry in motion.
Deep flick from Sora Matsushima. Nice, crisp connection. Chuqin couldn't quite calibrate there. The spin on the ball meant that he couldn't put so much force through the ball. Can they keep their lead?
Well, if he does that, more often than not, yeah.
It's incredible. You know, he can do that to a push or a flick, you know. Doesn't matter. And what's amazing about Chuqin is that he doesn't move before the opponent has made the shot. So, it's not as easy as saying, well, Sora Matsushima there should have gone down the line. No. Chuqin only moves after the contact's been made.
Which makes the output even more impressive.
Exactly. Whoa.
That was impressive too. So casual, but so dismissive.
A lasso of a backhand from Matsushima.
And a little look there from Chuqin as well. Game recognizing game.
MATSUSHIMA defeated Wang Chuqin at the recent Asian Team Championships. So nearly got his second win in a row against the world #1 here at the finals.
8-5.
So he knows in an individual contest he can take him on, but then you've got the Xia factor as well.
And she is the world's best player, the world's most dominant player. 17 WTT titles under her belt already.
How's she looked to you this week as well?
Perfect. Nothing surprising.
Took the initiative there, MATSUSHIMA, and took the point.
It's good deception there. Wang did well to get it back, and handcuffing placement from Miwa cross table into the Sun crossover section.
10-6.
But the problem is, once you get behind on the scoreboard against these two, it's so tough.
11-6.
And with that, it's first game going the way of Chuqin and Xia, as I suppose you'd say normal service resumes for them on the table, where, remember, they haven't been beaten inside this arena this week. A couple of moments, a couple of flashes in particular from MATSUSHIMA in that first game, but the Japanese pair are going to need more than that, because they've dropped the first, and they've done so by a scoreline of 11 points to 6. The fans are in great voice inside the Infinity Arena. It's a full house, a sellout here, and this weekend is going to be wonderful. We've got the first of our finals coming up this evening. It will indeed be in this event, the mixed doubles.
Second game. HARIMOTO to serve. Level.
And just to help you plan out the rest of your table tennis watching Saturday, we will have the remaining men's singles quarterfinals to come. And then this evening, in the evening session, we'll have the women's singles semifinals before we get to that mixed doubles final.
Let. One love.
Tomokazu Harimoto against Felix Lebrun next here. Cannot wait for that. Oh, you are joking, Sora. How the hell has he just done that?
Where was he going after? That was incredible.
How has he done that? How has he just done that? That was all in the forearm.
Because he didn't have balance, as you saw.
There is something quite Koki Niwa about the way he plays. He's just... he'll play what he wants.
And I guess you have to say, don't stop him going for his shots. He's missed one there, the following point. On the percentage, on the balance, you'd want him to at least have a go, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Just a ruthless, stone-cold shot maker. He can do things that no one else can for Team Japan. So much feeling. It can be a good thing, it can be a bad thing, but overall, I love it.
But in the battle of the two women there, it was Xia who had the definitive finish.
Of course it was. She's so omnipresent, all-seeing, all-knowing.
Everyone wants to watch this, from the VIPs to the players.
4-2.
And why wouldn't you? You have got the marquee act, without any doubt, in the black here of the China team on show.
Five, two.
So far, so good, and I'm wondering about a potential timeout, John.
Let's come back to their side of the table.
The ghost effect. It was lovely quality on the touch of Miwa. They'll take it.
Yeah, you get the ball over the net twice in one shot. That's quite something.
Four, five.
That's a neat little fight back there as well from Miwa.
Oh, unusual.
Five, all.
He got a bit too cute. Maybe he had too long to think about it.
A bamboozling break. The way he played it, it was like he was playing a little badminton drop shot near the net, Chuqin.
Oh, that is just wonderful.
Just thinking about two of the world finals, which Yingsha and MATSUSHIMA played, who were against Hina Hayata and Tomokazu Harimoto. This is now Japan's most, well, favoured doubles partnership.
Six,
And
all.
it's similar in the sense that you've got Miwa, who's so textbook as a right-handed player, close to the table. You've got Sora, who's more dynamic, a bit more flair to his game, ability to vary and think outside the box. What's going to be the difference maker?
Looking at the two women here, maybe. Miwa did well to come back after that winner from Shasha.
6, 7.
Because we're seeing wonderful play, which characteristically we do from both of the left-handers at play here. Might come down to which of the two right-handers is more consistent.
I think so.
Oh.
8, 6.
If you set it up, he'll finish it.
Knocked it out of the park there, Chuqin.
Shasha just doing her job there, getting out of the way.
Decent
set up
touch.
this shot. I mean, that's the beauty of this format, isn't it? And there he is again. Oh, the full 360.
Miwa Harimoto just can't contain him. You know, that was a decent push. But look at the coverage. Look at the footwork of Chuqin. Scuttles across like a crab.
And he's back.
Laying down the law here. Chop block. Oh, come off it.
Same finish, and there he goes again.
There's no stopping this man when he's on song like this, John.
4 game points as a result of this individual brilliance over the last few points from that man. Not this time.
7, 10.
But they have the luxury still of a 3-point cushion.
Seven, 10. 8.
Okay, it's still on. But it's really important now for the Japanese pair. Drop this one, Fraser, and it would just seem they'd have to climb, well, something as imposing as the wonderful peak that towers above Hong Kong's harbour here.
Surely they'll finish this here.
Not quite.
Harimoto
scrambled in vain, and as a result, the second game goes the way of this superstar Chinese pairing, who are now within one of a place in this evening's final. She does so much quietly effective work, Sun Yingsha, which is what makes this such a great pairing. We've seen the flamboyance from Chuqin, and they've taken it now 11-8 to follow an 11-6 in the first. So as they analyze their game, we can do something similar. This is a little look, Fraser, at the point of contact where the point is made, and then we can have a little look from the other angle.
Japanese playing more balls cross-table. Miwa going cross-table, Sora going cross-table. Trying to make it tough for Wang Chuqin to play that pivot, yet we saw so many there from Chuqin.
I suppose really it's a question if one doesn't get you, the other will when you play this pair. That's the problem that the Japanese are facing. And here comes Sha to start the third.
Correct receive there from Matsushima. You don't want to flick or push cross table. Then Chuqin will go for that impending doom wipeout. So a short touch if possible, or a shot down the line usually is the right option. But then Miwa has to be ready to play a backhand. Likelihood is Chuqin will go cross table. It changes whenever then Sun Yingsha steps up.
Love 3.
Still no timeout here. Quite surprising for me. HARIMOTO is here, by the way, in the corner. No longer Kishikawa.
3-1.
Well, they're on the board. Okay. I guess the Japanese coaching staff just mixing it up there. Of course, there's a big singles quarterfinal for Tomokazu Harimoto up next.
3-2.
If the Japanese are unable to win this one, Tomo will be the last Japanese player standing here at the finals in Hong Kong. And he has his work cut out against Felix Lebrun, I think it's fair to say. No.
3-all.
That's just absolutely ridiculous from Sora Matsushima. The side spin on this ball, that is such a good level shot. I think that might be the best forehand that I've seen all finals.
It takes a lot to make these two players stop and look admiringly at something. And to be fair to them, they both did.
I can't do that shot justice with words. The skill that takes.
4-3.
And then maybe a little break in concentration as Sha admonishes herself.
Chuqin just trying to usher Sha. Just say, okay, let's focus again here. That was just 1 point.
4-4.
But that shot was the highest level shot that we've seen in this match. To even take it on is one thing. To make it, I Tip my hat to Sora Matsushima there.
5-4.
It's just these subtle changes, you know, sometimes just changing the spin on the serve, sometimes going long, putting pressure on the opponents to open. They're cracking the code here.
4-6.
Miwa looks a little bit dishevelled. Not to single her out, but I think that she's just struggled here to fully express herself.
4-7.
You see where you're coming from, because there's such an elite level of competition here that everyone's having to play so very, very well. And there is that timeout call finally. 7-4 down, staring at a defeat here. And there is HARIMOTO, who has to conjure up something. Well, we saw it in the last match from the Koreans, but it came earlier. So will that meeting of minds work? Will it somehow unsettle the Chinese pair? Something has to change for the Japanese. Is it too predictable? Do they need to vary things? They're running out of time, Fraser, whatever you might say here.
I think we've seen a little bit of overthinking here from Miwa. And I think that, well, Sora's being his usual self. Miwa's just showing where she's going too soon at times.
And also the other problem is that these two Chinese champions have been their predictable normal selves as well, which is just a level of genius.
We've learned nothing new about them. Oh, Matsushima, why did he do that? Why did he try to make it look so clever, cheeky? Beautiful point. Bit too cavalier there from Matsushima. Went for a statement finish. But look at that. A pristine performance from Shato. A squeaky clean bagel. And they're through to the finals final. As the last Chinese pair standing, they will try to avenge Lin Chidong and Kwai Man, who were beaten by Im and Shin just before this match here in the Infinity Arena. The Hall of Famers justifying all the clout that they carry here. Just too good. Just too good. If there is such a thing as perfect, well, they're the closest to it. But knowing that reaching perfection is impossible, yet still trying, is what defines Chuqin and Shasha. You never give up. They constantly adapt. They're always taking notes at the table. They're through to the mixed doubles final here as wildcards here in Hong Kong. And they're going to face Im Jong-hoon and Shin Yu-bin later on tonight. So, in just over 20 minutes, they defeat the shooting stars from Team Japan 11-6, 11-8, and 11-4. Well, it's going to be great to hear from our winners. We're just getting ready to set up the interview here in the Infinity Arena. And there'll be John Dykes chatting to Yingsha and Wang Chuqin. It'll be great to hear from them. How G'd up are they going to get here before the final later on?
Well, the great news for their fans is that Wang Chuqin and Yingsha will be coming back this evening to play in our WTT Finals Hong Kong 2025 Mixed Doubles Final. Let's talk a little bit, Chuqin, about what just happened. You've beaten this Japanese pair for the second time this year. What changes did you make ahead of this match and during the match to win it?
首先，恭喜两位晋级决赛。那第一个问题，请问王楚钦，这是你们今年第2次战胜这对日本对手，赛前以及场上都做了哪些调整呢？
其实我觉得作为混双这个项目，它又是另一个项目、另一个比赛的，所以说并没有带到单打是一个怎么样的情节当中，这就是一场正常的半决赛。所以说，我觉得还是。他们当然，松岛和美和也是非常强大的一名混双组合，所以说在赛前，我觉得我和孙颖莎也是做好了充分的困难准备，包括和肖尔岛我们3个的这种沟通，我觉得整个的今天战术的执行还是非常好，包括整场上的这种发挥还是非常流畅。
I see mixed doubles as a different event than singles, so this is just another semifinals match to us. Sora Matsushima and Miura Harimoto is a very strong pair, so before this match, Sasha and I made solid preparation against potential challenges. We also communicated with Coach Xiao on our tactics pretty well, and today we executed these tactics effectively, and the overall performance was quite smooth.
Sasha, I know that both of you have such high standards. Is there anything you need to do better if you're going to beat a very in-form pair and win the championship this evening?
那莎莎，我知道你们两位对自己的要求都非常的高。展望今天晚上的混双决赛，面对现在状态极佳的对手，你们会怎么样去做好准备来冲击冠军奖杯呢？
觉得首先其实跟申宇彬、林正勋也算老对手了吧，其实在巴黎周期也打过很多次，但当然其实我们俩现在也不是说对彼此要求高吧，我觉得还是说现在确实我们对混双这种理解，包括在比赛中的这种阅读，确实要比以往好很多了，但确实也配合了8年了，确实我觉得在比赛中吧，我觉得其实我们俩现在不需要太多的语言去交流，而且我觉得也非常默契吧，但我觉得，晚上的决赛，我相信我们2个人都会全力以赴吧，然后给大家呈现更精彩的比赛。
Xin Yubin and Lim Zhonghun has been a long-standing opponent to us, and we have played that pair many times. Well, I don't think it's that the two of us have high standards or requirements for ourselves. I think it's because since we have paired up for 8 years, our understanding of mixed doubles as an event, as well as our communication, have improved a lot than before. We do not necessarily need verbal communication to have natural synergy on the court. So looking ahead to the finals this evening, we hope to give our best and bring an even more excellent match to everybody.
Guys, thank you very much. We always love to hear your thoughts. We love to watch you play, and we look forward to the final. Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you, John, and thank you, Shato. Yingsha and Wang Chuqin, the world champions together, a pair who played together for 8 years, are through here to the final. And they're going to play the pair who defeated the world number 1s, Lin and Kuai. Can they avenge their Chinese teammates? We'll find out later on.